Okay, let's do one more practice problem, but this time we're going to use Gretl here. So now here, go ahead and read the problem, take a minute. Right? And here we have jet skis, and we have two variables for every jet ski. We have the weight of the jet ski and the price of the jet ski. And so the goal here is to see if we can predict the price using the weight. And so the first thing we're going to do is develop a scatter diagram for this data with the weight as the independent variable. And that's going to be our clue, right? Independent also means explanatory variable. So that is the variable that we're going to be used to explain. And so what are we explaining? We're explaining the price. The price then, this is going to be the dependent variable. Oops. Right? So it's going to be the dependent variable. Right? Okay, that's an N, by the way. Okay. In independent variable, explanatory variable, or sometimes called the regressor. Right? These are all the same names for the same. Different names for the same thing. Okay. So this data set it is available in the Canvas page or in the Google Drive folder that we're shared. So let's go over there now. All right, so if you go to Google Drive folder, that is the link is available on your Canvas page. If you click on data file, right, taking a minute here, click on data file. Inside data file, you want the file that you want is called jetski. Go ahead and click on jetski, and then just go to download. Taking a minute here. Go to download, and then just download it to wherever wherever you like. Okay. Because we're gonna need to access this file on Gretl, so it's probably better to just save it on your desktop for now. So go on desktop, we call it jetski, and also remember, remember what the file is saved as. So here is saved as a Microsoft Excel worksheet, and that is the .xlsx. So that's going to help us locate the file in a minute. So we just click save. Okay. Okay. Once you have that saved, go ahead and open up Gretl. Okay. And then if you need help installing Gretl, look at the other tutorial video that is also in the playlist. And once you have Gretl installed, click on File, go to Open Data, and you just go to User File. Right? And now we're going to locate where we saved the file. So I've saved it on the desktop. Now I don't see it here. No, that's because in the data file is only looking for Gretl database. So I need to change that into what I saved it as. Right? If you saved it as CSV, then you click CSV. But here we saved it as XLSX. So click that, and there it is. Right? Gretl is compatible with most software or most databases. So should be pretty easy. Oh, and here's I'm on two screens here. So it's gonna pop up. And it's gonna start importing at column 1, row 1. Just click OK. As long as your spreadsheet is well organized, you don't need to be concerned with this. Click OK, and then it's gonna ask you the imported data, interpret it as cross-sectional. Cross-sectional is so all of the data that we have worked on in this class is cross-sectional. Time series is exactly what it sounds like. Or if you have data that goes over any kind of period of time, or whether it be years or month, that is the time series data. So we don't want to change it, so we're just going to click no there. And here we have our make and model, weight, and price. And you can double click on one of them. You can see that here's my data set. I have 10, and here is the weight. Now, first thing we want to do is where we want to do a scatter diagram. So if you look at on the bottom here, the button here, you have this thing that looks like a scatter diagram. If you simply click on that, right, and click on that, this will pop up. All right, this will pop up. Now, on the x-axis, right, that's going to be where our dependent variable is, and we want our weight to be our. I'm sorry about that. We want our independent variable to be on the x-axis. So we want our weight to be the independent variable because we want to use weight to explain price. So then we want price to be on the y-axis. Put those two in. Click OK. and you get a graph like this. All right, now they already put a fitted line there for us, but if you want to take the line out, right, you can go ahead and go into edit, and then in the here fitted line, right now is a plus bx. That's our linear regression line. If you don't want that, go ahead and just click none, right, and then just click OK. That will take the line away, and you can play around with this. You can make the graph a little bit bigger, so sometimes this looks a little bit better scaled, or you can reduce it, compact it down like this. I like it like this. Also, if you're working in Word or Adobe or any other software, you can right click and you can save this picture. You can save this as a picture or as a PDF, copy it, and then you can export this picture onto in your other programs. Okay, so this is one of the easiest way to graph to do a scatter diagram. Okay, now part B. Right, B asks, what does the scatter diagram developed in part A? What does the scatter diagram develop in part A? Tell us about the relationship between weight and price. Well, it's linear, right? All right. C, use the least square method to develop the estimated regression equation. Okay, so I'm going to close this. Now, to do estimated regression equation, okay, I just want to show you which question we're on now. So we're going to use the least square method to develop the estimated regression equation. Now, to do that on Gretl, we're going to go ahead. You can two ways. You can either click here, beta, and as I hover over here, you'll see that it says OLS model. OLS stands for ordinary least square. So this is the shortcut. Or you can just click here, model, and we want to use ordinary least square. So that's the method that we learned. Okay. Now, once you click on that, this window will pop up. Okay. So I want to use weight, right, as the regressor. This is what I want to use to explain. And I want to explain price. So price is the dependent variable. Okay. You can do set as default if you want to do run multiple models. You can set as default so you don't have to go through this every time. Okay, and now once we have a way constant, leave that there, right? So this is your beta 0 or b0, right? And what this is going to do is assume it's going to put a placeholder, right, so that you will have a constant in the front. If you take that out, let's say you take that out, you are actually making a strong assumption. You're assuming that the constant term in the front is 0. So we want this, so we want to put that there. Don't worry, order doesn't matter. You don't need these to be in the right order. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on OK here. Okay, and once it's ran, there it is. So that's my result. What we want to focus on is here, right? Is these two area over here, constant and basically the column and coefficient. Let's go ahead and write those two numbers down. Right? So under coefficient we have. Right, we have constant, right, which is negative 8129.44, and then we have weight in pounds, and that is 22.44. Okay, let's go back to paper. Okay, what that tells us is this equals our B0, and this is our B1. Okay, and so under the column coefficient, that is where you find all the estimates. And so here we have y hat I equals, right, equals negative 8129.44, right, plus 22.44 xi. Okay, that's our estimate. Now let's go ahead and finish with part B, predict the price of the 3-seater, right, with the weight of 750. So there we go. Y hat equals put in the calculator and we get 8700.56. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right. Now here, right, E is asking an interesting question, right? Here we have in our data set, right, we do have a jet ski that weighs 750 pounds, but the price is 9,500. So look, the price is 750 pound here, the price is 9,500. But wait a minute, we just put in our equation here, and we predicted that a jet ski that's 750 pounds should be $8,700. Right? So what is it? Why isn't this 9,500? Is our estimate wrong? Right? So that is so there's nothing wrong here because what we estimated is the expected price. Right? So the $8,700 point of 56 cents is the expected price of a jet ski that weighs 750 pounds. And of course, not all jet ski that weighs 750 pounds is going to have the same price because there are other factors besides weight that dictates price. Right? All right, so there'll be some jet ski, and in this one particular, that costs $9,500. That is 750 pounds. This also tells you an interesting story here is that obvious. So we see there's a linear relationship between weight of a jet ski and the price, right? And where we can the way we can interpret this 22.44 is that for every additional pound of jet ski, right, jet ski weighs, it will cost $22.44 additional. Now, of course, that doesn't really make any sense because people don't buy jet ski for their weight, right? It's not like buying meat, right? So what this means is, or you should be cautious, is that just because we can exhibit a linear relationship, it doesn't represent a causal relationship. And so, some of you might have heard the phrase correlation does not mean causation, right? So this is an example of that, right? Right. There are other. So the only thing we can say is there's a relationship between weight and price, right? We cannot say that weight causes price, right? That's because something is if something is heavier,